Hello everyone. Today we are going to be working on the sickle mower again. So in my last video on this, I made this steel Pitman arm on here, and that was really more of just a temporary fix so I could finish up the mowing that day. I understand that this is supposed to be a weak point on the mower, and I really don't want to wreck my tractor or wreck something more important like the gearing or chain or something inside the gear case. So we're going to figure out a solution for that Pitman arm. And I have a pretty cool idea of how to keep the steel Pitman arm but still make it a weak point and make it easy to repair if it were to break. Because that's the one thing I didn't like about the wood one, is you have to change out the entire bar every time, and I don't want to have to do that. So let's get to work. So here's the plan. This is 12 inches long. We need 11 inches to actually be able to move in and out, and then we'll have a 4-inch gap in this bar when it's the standard length. So at this length we should have a 4-inch gap in it. And then this will be welded in 1 inch inside of here. And then the rest of this will be inside of here. But we need to cut this at about 4 inches. So we have about 1 inch there. So this should work for that. Cut that there. And then we will cut this at the 5 mark, which is about there. And then we'll have all of this to go inside of this shaft. Let's get this cut apart. Okay, I got these cut apart. Just gotta clean up the cuts here, get all the burrs off. All right, we got enough wood and embers around here to weld this nice and then start a good fire right here. So let's tack this in. That worked good. Somehow we didn't start a fire, so that's always good. I think that's going to be plenty good. I'm not the best welder in the world, but my welds tend to stick pretty good. I've never had one break on me, so that should work fine. So, as you can see how this is going to work, this will go in here. And then there'll be, when it's at its correct length, which is 33.5, that is its normal length. And you can see we have, should be like 4 inches here. Yeah, it's about 4 inches there. I only really need 3 inches of movement here. I left a little bit extra because I knew I was going to need to weld right there. So I only need 3 inches of movement there. And then this rod is 12 inches long, so you can see it comes all the way in here. So if it breaks in the worst case scenario with it at this, it'll pull all the way out. So it'll pull out 3 inches, which should be 6 inches here now. Or 7, I'm sorry. So about right there is the max length that it will pull out, and you can see there's still, that was really hot. You can see there's still 4.5 inches in there. So it should be plenty of movement without this flying apart. So what I need to do is get this at the right length and then make sure this doesn't move. I'll probably put a mark there. And then I need to drill all the way through this and make a hole for the shear bolt. We got the rod on there. Funny thing happened. The rod that I had in here is actually right here. And this rod I could not drill through. It is a very hard steel apparently, and I actually took it to a machine shop and they couldn't even get anything through it either. So I ended up buying a piece of rod from them and just cutting this one off and welding the new one that they sold me on here. So they were able to, they drilled this hole for me too while I was there. That made it a lot easier. I don't know what this is made out of, but it's extremely hard. So I got that all welded on there. I got the hole drilled through this side. So now slides in out nice, and then you line the hole up and we'll put our shear bolt through that hole and we should be good to go like that. So now there's a tiny bit of play in there, but I mean, it shouldn't matter. Hopefully I know that'll be the weak point because there's nothing else that would be able to break. So let's measure, make sure it's the same length. Where's my tape measure? Here we are. And we're at 33.5, so we're good there. So now, we now have a weak link once again. So let's get this back on the tractor and go and try it and see if that actually holds. All right, I got the Pitman arm back on. You can see it's all bolted up. There's our shear bolt there, and hopefully it'll move. I didn't put any lubricant on this because it's not actually supposed to move a lot. So when it does break, I'm just gonna stop anyway. So I don't want all the grease and stuff in there messing with trying to replace the bolt. So I don't think that's necessary. I figured while I had my welder out, the grill on this tractor falls down all the time because these pins don't actually go into the little hole that's up in there because this hood is kind of messed up. You can see there's like Bondo and stuff on here. So what I'm gonna do, this side doesn't actually line up, but this side, the pin lines up just fine in there. So what I'm gonna do is just weld on top of this and just make the pin longer. So then when it goes in here, it'll actually go up into the hole and we won't have the problem of this falling down all the time. So I'm gonna do that and I'll get back to you. All right, as you can see, I got that built up on there. So hopefully when I put it in here now, it's kind of stuck. Actually, I may have done it too much. Oh, it's hitting, that's why it won't move. I gotta grind that little piece sticking off there down. All right, as you can see now, this, you can push down far enough, goes on, latches in there. It's kind of tight getting back out, but that's fine. Push down, and then, so to get back out, you push down, and then you can pull here and it comes out. It's a little hard, but I think I like it like that because it's easy to push in. It's definitely not gonna fall out now, so. Fixed, finally. Actually, you just slide it in, scratches out a little bit, but who cares? Seemed to go through that grass fine. I mean, it wasn't for very long. I don't know if there's any play in it or anything. Let's see if there's any play in that. There's a little bit, but I feel like that's the same amount of play that was in there before. It's easy to replace the bolt with a stronger one. I think I'm just gonna leave that in there and try it the next time we bale hay, and we'll go from there. So hopefully you guys appreciate this modification. I know a lot of you were worried about me destroying the mower or my tractor or something, and honestly I understood that that was supposed to be a weak point in the system, but it was just, I had to have something so I could finish mowing that day, and this obviously took a lot longer to build than just the steel rod, so I got this fixed. Hopefully this is a good idea, and maybe somebody else would like to do this with theirs, because replacing that wood one every time it snaps is kind of a pain in the butt. So hopefully this helps somebody, and I would like to thank you guys for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing below, and we'll see you next time.